Am I audible to you? Welcome everyone.
Yes, sir, audible. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Darsana. So let's continue the session. Yesterday we have covered that descriptive analysis part. Okay. Only the few things were remain there, which how to read the various files. Mhm. Yesterday we have seen how to read the CSV format file. Now we see some other format files. So let me share my screen with you first. So I will show you how to read the different files here. So first we see the CSV file, how we will read here. So there is a file like the bank full.csv I have here in this folder. So I will just click here. I just remove this all and also remove this. So for CSV format file, we have to write the syntax read.csv, then under quotes you name write the name of the file along with the extension .csv. Look at here, we are getting one file. There are 45,211 observation. One variable it is showing, but there is no one variable. There is more than one variable. So what happens in the CSV format file? They have it is basically the full form of the CSV is the comma separated value. So these values are not with comma separated. These are with the semicolon separate. So we have to mention the separator also when we want to read it. So I will just show you. So we add one argument or the attribute, that is the separator is equal to semicolon, and then I read it. Now see, there are 17 variables. If we read again, view this file, we will get this view. Now it is properly, we could work on this file. So this is a way to read the file. If you sometimes you stuck, you get only one variable, you see the separator, what they have used, mention that separator there, and you could open it. Now, sometimes what happens, I will show you one, whenever we read the file, we view the file and then we see the structure of the file. Structure of the file, why we see it? Because it gives us few information regarding the how many observations and the variables are there and the class of each variable it provides us. The first is the integer, second is a character, then character, and this way it is providing us the information. Okay. Now let us see few more things. When we read the file, I am showing you one column. Look at here, there is a job column we have in this data set. BD data set, I will show you. In the BD data set, there is a job column, and in job column, some values they have written the some category, the unknown category is also there. So basically, it is not an unknown category. It is the NSL where the person has not filled that information regarding the job. So the person who made it the data entry, he read their unknown, but it is not unknown. It is the missing value. It is the NA. So what we will do when we read this file, we read this file again with the separator, and we use one NA dot strings equal to unknown. So wherever the unknown is written in the whole data in any column, it will convert in NA, because unknown is not a category basically. Okay. So I will show you now the 288 were there, and I will show you how many NAs are there now. So you see we have 288 NAs have been converted as NAs. And if we see the table now again, so you see there is no NA, that 288 is not there. But I want the NA must be also also print in this table. So I will use the use NA is equal to always. Okay. And I run it. So you see the NA is 288, it is mentioning. Okay. That is the way to read the file. Now we see how we could read the Excel file. So we have to download or install this read Excel library or the package. And then we run this library, read Excel. And then we read the Excel file. We could read as per the sheet, because the Excel file, you see there are many sheets. So we have to give the sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, whatever you want. So I am reading here the sheet 3, and you see here the 365 observations and the 6 variable in sheet 3. So whatever the sheet index you will write, you will get that sheet there. So this is the read underscore Excel you could write here, and the file name exercise dot whatever the extension is there, you have to write. Or you could if you want to write a file in your system, you have done some manipulation in the data, now you want to save that file. So the default way is the CSV, you know that. So we are writing write.csv. Suppose this file I want to write, and so D is the object name of this file. So I will write here without any quotes, then comma, by which name I want to save it. So I want to save it by data 11. So data 11 file is not here, you see. Data 11 file, data 100 is there, data 10 is there, data 15 in here. So I will save it in this way, write.csv, and here also in the quotes you write the extension, what you are going to give the name of that file. So I just save it, and you will see here the data 11 is here. So it has been saved now. So in this way we could save the file also. Now we have a sys file. Suppose to sys file, we have to install the library sys7bdet, and the sys7bdet we have to run first before reading the file of the sys. So sys7bdet, we have a file, the sys1 dot gaming1 dot sys7bdet extension we have. So I run this file. So you will see D1, we have the 1143 observations and 3 variables I am getting here. So we could read any format of file here. Not only the, I just remove few things from here. It is very mishmash. So I just remove this all. This is the way we could read this file. Now we have to read the SPSS file, that is the extension is .sav. So we use the library 4n, and sorry, I am using again that I will stop it. I don't like to install it. I will just run this foreign library, and I will read that file. Read.spss is our syntax, and we write the name of the file, then I read it. So I will get that D3 is a list now. It is not a data frame at present. If I show you this list, you will see it is look like this. So I will convert this in a data frame. So then I will use the data dot frame D3, and I could give any other name or the same name if you want. So now I will show you D4. It is a data frame now. We could read in this way. The SSV format, SSV format file are being read in a list format. It gives the output in a list format. Then we convert these in a data frame. So that is a way to read the files, the various files here. Okay. Now I think that you give your queries, whatever the doubt, you have attended the 5 day session, and uh, what you have, where you have stuck, what are the questions do you have regarding R and data analytics, please you ask. Yes. Yes, Dhanasri, do you have any doubt, any query?
No, sir.
And Lakshminder? Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, actually, I want to know. Actually, yesterday I have a question. So,
Yes.
how to manually code correlation? Sir, actually, I want to know how to use. Suppose I have X series, Y series, and these are the sum of the formula. So, how can I make my code myself? So that was my question. Previously, question.
Manually you could read through the books, and there are the formula, you could do that thing. So here in the
Sir,
R
actually,
programming
how
and
can I code it?
your own formula you want to create. Then there is a function.
Yes.
Function, you have to create a function your own. You want to create your own function. So that is in the R2 you will read about this function and everything, the conditional statement and how we could create our own function. I will give you a
Okay,
little example how to create a function here. Okay. So you
okay, sir.
see this, you could understand, and then you could use your own logic and create the function.
Okay, sir.
So in R, we could create the function. Suppose I am going to create a function like I want to create a function for the circumference of circle. So I will write the function. In the round bracket, I will write the variable what I want. So in the circle, you see there is only one variable, that is the radius. Okay, by which we could find out the circumference, or we could find out the area also. So I just put one variable x. Then I will use my curly bracket. I just enter here, and I will write what I want through the formula. So I want the circumference, CIRM, I write here, and I write that formula 2 into pi. Pi is this, and x is the variable. And finally, what I want as a result, there are two things. One is the result and one the print. CIRM. CIRM is not recognizing. I could write in this way. No? Okay, I write in this way. The function return the top level. Okay. Just a moment. This CIRM it is not providing. Why? I don't write the equal. But there is a Python, we have a different approach, and here R we have different approach. Just a moment. I see we could use the return. CIRM. Doing the right thing, but CIRM is not getting. So CIRM, if I put in quotes, then see what happens. Still I am getting jumping to the top level, the print if I write. Then I see what I get here. Just a minute, look at this, and I just see what is there. And, get it. Just a moment. This little bit. I am doing right, but why it is not giving me? I have written the right thing. Return we will take always. And CIRM. Okay, I give a single letter, then we see what happens. Okay, I give the single, otherwise I have to give the quotes over there also. It's like basically that. Now it's working. Now it's working. Now I have created this function for the circumference, and if I want to know the circumference, so the function name you know that CIR. And this is the create. I have created this function here. Now it is in my environment. That is the function you see here. There is one variable, so I have to pass one variable. If I write the radius 1 of a circle, and I see the what would be the circumference, so I will get this circumference 6.28. And if I write the radius 2, you get this 12.58. So in this way, you write any value, any radius 6 or whatever, you will get the circumference. So in this way, you could create a formula. That is a very simple thing, because at that moment I have written the CIRM. That is a multiple letters basically. So I think that was the mistake I had did. CIRM. If I run this, now it's working because I have not used the quotes over there. And you see it is working now. 6, but it is CIRM. It is giving me the CIRM. So we should have here why it is not working with the multiple letters. So we have to use the single one. No? See here and see here, then it is working. Okay. And we could work with this like. So in this way, we could create a function, maybe it can default attributes and different sort of functions we could create here. Like the for area of our rectangle and anything. If you want to create a area of rectangle, then I will write a function area, and I will just make a function. And here I am passing two attribute x and y, because the length and breadth is compulsory for me. If I just write the a equal to x into y, that is x into y area, and I return a, and I run it. So this is my another function, you see, area xy. And if I call this function, and I will write the 5 is and 7, you'll see I will get the 35. That is the area. So in this way, you could create a function like that. And for many values, there is only one value we are taking now for x and one value for y. If you require the many values, you have to use the for loop. And loop, while loop, for loop. This would be in a R2. This would be in a R2 basically. And there we will study in detail how we could use the conditional statement. Now we could create a package through this, Adil Hussain, and then you could use as a permanently. Okay, you could save here in the package, and you run that package library, and you could use it. Otherwise, you have to first run this particular script, and then you could apply this function. And you make a script for that particular function. You first run that script, then you run whatever the script you want. You could use there. Yes. Anyone else? Darshana?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any query and doubt?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Abdul? Yes. Abdul, Ruel, Hassan? Khadija? No?
Sir, it is clear.
It is clear. Okay, thanks. Karma?
No, sir. Right now, I don't have any.
Okay. So it was the only foundation of R, and the R2, then R3 and R4 workshop. You will get the detail about these all things. And Kirti, do you have any? I hope you all have enjoyed this session, this workshop of the 5 days. Yes.
Yes, sir, very much, sir. It was very informative, useful, and for people like person like me, it was completely new. And
Yes.
as I've already told, I'm a bit new to this statistics and this programming thing. So it was adventurous. It was fun. And maybe if time permits, I'm thinking of joining, redoing this R1 again, but I don't know whether the time will permit me or not, favor me or not. And I'm also thinking of continuing attending all doctors' workshop, R1 to R4.
Okay, okay.
That's it with me, sir. And if my other friends have anything to say.
Okay, okay. You suggest some other also, the friend circle, whatever your associates you recommend them to attend this sort of workshop and get the knowledge of data analytics and these all things. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay, sir. I'm okay, doctor. I'm doing. I just talked last time itself. I have talked with a few of my friends, and they were willing. But since we had to be a bit busy with these days, so maybe time isn't favoring them. So maybe they'll join.
Okay, okay. So thanks everyone. We wind up this today. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thanks everyone.
Thank you so much, doctor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice
Thank you
weekend.
so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
When other workshops will be floated, like can you give a brief timeline when you will be floating other workshops?
R2 is still running simultaneously 7 to 9. Today is the 5th day of R2 also. And the next week we are planning few workshop. R3 and R3 will be start next week.
So suppose if I missed R2, so how can I join that again? Because I want to go in like flow.
Yes, yes. So it will start later on, next week. We continue work in this way. R1,
Okay,
R2.
sir, I have just a small question. So suppose if I want to create, because in like I'm a research scholar, so I basically use a experimental task like games to collect data. So if I want to modify or develop my own task, what language is more preferred? Like because I know that people use R also and people use Python also. So now I have to start learning it. So what would you recommend?
You want to what do you want through that? You want to do the analytics or you want to do something else?
Not analytics, sir, but to create my own game, like a task. Using like people use survey to collect data from humans. So basically, I'm a cognitive scientist. So I basically use task like different kinds of attention task or different kind of memory task to collect data. So they play the game and then we get the score. So suppose if I want to create my own task, so what language is more preferred?
Python would be better at that moment.
So sir, do you also like provide workshops in Python?
Python we also provide the workshop. And last week we have finished one Python P1 10 days workshop. And there is also Python P1, P2, P3 similar way.
So you'll be floating them again as well, like time again.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you everyone. Meet on some other batch, some other workshop in future. Okay.
Okay, so see you next time, doctor.
Okay. Thanks everyone. Thanks, Karma.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.